lower your cholesterol levels. Managing healthy cholesterol is a key to a strong heart and overall wellness. For over 38 years, Rescue Natural Supplements has been a trusted ally in helping people reach their cholesterol goals. I've counted on Rescue for years, and with good reason. Their range of supplements designed to meet your specific needs, from omega-3s to red yeast rice and more. Take charge of your heart health today. Use the code DROP at checkout to double your order on any cholesterol product for free. Call today at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code online when you visit res-q.com, res-q.com. Remember to use the code DROP to buy one, get one free on Rescue Cholesterol products. Double up your cholesterol support today. Use the code DROP at res-q.com.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are having 2 fabulous back-to-school specials. The 2024 S60 front-wheel drive sedan and the exciting electric C40 each can be leased for 36 months for $369. Due-it inception would be a down payment and taxes and registration fees. But in New Jersey, this C40 has no tax. The $369 is an incredible payment on each of these Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Our team would be honored to partner with you.
Just like our offensive line protects our star quarterback, plumbers protect the health of the nation. And Philadelphia Plumbers Union Local 690 is no different. In hospitals, commercial, industrial, and residential, with the best trained plumbers in the world, you can be sure your project is done on time and on budget, no matter how big or small. So when your business needs to build new or expand existing facilities, you can count on the members of Plumbers Union Local 690. Visit plumbers690.org. See Joe Conklin's comedy show at Archbishop Wood High School in Warminster, Saturday, September 28th. Come early and meet Ike Reese. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com!
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
So much happening and developing here in Philadelphia. We'll watch for the latest from Philadelphia City Council. Is the honeymoon over with Mayor Sherelle Parker? Well, for some of those Chinatown community and business leaders, the answer is yes. They are furious after that taped announcement that Mayor Parker had put out on social media, releasing it while she then went into a meeting. And so you had protesters outside of the city of Philadelphia City Hall as they were protesting this, saying this will ruin Chinatown, destroy Chinatown and their culture. And so we'll look at that as Mayor Parker essentially saying this is great for business, great for the economy of Philadelphia. And it has to do with the union vote as well, right? Because we're looking at thousands, some 9,000 union jobs that Mayor Parker is looking at. And so this is a piece of the thank you and the loyalty to unions. The union vote in play, certainly with the big announcement, right, from the Teamsters Union nationally. We'll take a look at that and talk about that. But I want to bring you into what happened last night during this rally. Trump just essentially riffed for about 90 minutes in his hometown. This is New York City. And you know that Trump loves New York City. Remember in that presidential debate, I'll never forget this. And this is the power of Donald J. Trump. Remember this when Ted Cruz, Senator Ted Cruz, then running for president against Trump, and he talked about something to the effect of that New York City mentality. And Trump pushed back on him. And this was his way of energetically flipping things. And he said, what are you talking about? And he brought up 9/11. He said, yeah, New York, you want to know the New York mentality when New Yorkers, when first responders flooded in after 9/11. Remember this? And Trump turned that around and said New York City really became America's city. And it kind of gave you the chill bumps. But every New Yorker at that moment, I think, loved the fact that Donald J. Trump made you feel, no matter where you lived, no matter where you were in New York, that, yeah, everybody in New York City, across America, you somehow came together because of 9/11. It was really a unifying statement and a slap in the face, of course, to his then political opponent. They've patched things up since then, and you know the rest of history. But we think about this in light of today and where we are, as he had this huge rally. It was amazing with so many people packing in, and we heard some 70,000+ others wanted to attend, and they could only accommodate so many with the roar of the crowd there. And this, as the Fed had just announced yesterday afternoon, that jumbo-sized interest rate. We knew that the Fed was going to do this, but announcing the interest rate cut for the first time in 4 years, half-point move, major economic milestone, and the central bank's long fight against inflation. And, of course, we've talked a lot about that, and Trump referenced that last night. But I want to take you to sort of bask in. This was my favorite moment when Trump really brought it home and said, this is critical. This time is critical. So listen in as Trump rallies this huge crowd.
We're not going to take it anymore, Kamala. That was a little line from The Apprentice, which I'm sure you haven't seen.
Oh, you know what? You need to back it up, guys. You need to back it up a little. Oh, what a shame. I'll move on to the next clip and let them play that. But you need to back it up just a little bit because he's giving a statement, a famous statement that he used to make on The Apprentice. And so if you look at the time codes I sent, if you can just back that up a little bit. He starts out with saying, in less than 2 months, talks about the election, and then moves on from there. But let me play the next clip of him, and this is the final minutes. Oh, you have it? Okay, let's try it again.
Anymore, Kamala? Kamala, you're fired. Get out. You're fired.
So I love this line where he just says, you're fired. And I think it's also to the genius of Trump that by saying this famous line that everybody knows from The Apprentice, he's also reminding everybody that, yeah, she's been in office. And he referenced that in this speech more than any speech I've seen, where he's trying to get across the point. Remember, she's the incumbent because, of course, Democrats, along with the complicit media, are trying to make you think that somehow she's all shiny and new and she has nothing to do with all of the failures of the current policy. So by saying, you're fired, America, you got to say you're fired, fire her, and let's move on and make America great again. I think it's a great message. So I love that one. Let's move on, though, as he talks about on day one, what happens and what are his promises that he's looking at. Actually, this is his no tax promises. So what will he not tax? And some of it's old, and you've heard before as he talks about what he believes his no tax pledges. So let's take you through this.
And you know why you deserve it? Because you lived like hell with the highest inflation.
He's referring to Social
Security
Security.
of our country, and you couldn't make ends meet. Now you're not going to have to pay tax on your Social Security benefit. And I will always protect Social Security and Medicare, and they won't. They're going to destroy it. They're putting the migrants all over the place, including there. And while working Americans catch up, we're going to put a temporary cap on credit card interest rates. We're going to cap it at around 10%.
This is new.
We can't let them make 25 and 30%. We will terminate the Green New Scam and spend trillions of dollars. We're going to take the Green New Scam, one of the greatest scams in the history of our country. Remember when they used to say global warming? They don't say that anymore. They say climate change because the planet's actually getting cooler. Climate change, Chuck. Climate change is different. Just Chuck Zito. Oh, I feel safe with him in the front row. Are you afraid of climate change, Chuck? Because now it's no longer global warming because that wasn't working so well, because it was getting cooler. Now it's climate change because that covers if it's warmer, it's cooler. We're going to take all of that money, we're going to take it, and we're going to rebuild. We're going to take this money from the Green New Scam. It's a Green New Scam, one of the greatest scams in history. And we're going to spend it on roads and bridges and real infrastructure. And we're going to pay down debt, not fake infrastructure that's caused massive inflation and has no benefit whatsoever for our country. And I will settle the war in Ukraine. I got along very well with Putin and Zelensky. And I will end the chaos in the Middle East. A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote to obliterate Israel. That's what's going to happen. Israel will not exist in 2 years. And by the way, we are closer to World War III right now than at any time during anybody's life in this beautiful room. I will stand with Israel and we will return a thing called peace through strength. And we're going to get it settled. We're going to get it done. We're going to get it done. We're not going to have war in the Middle East. We're not going to have war with Russia and Ukraine. You know, when I was there, we didn't have any war other than ISIS. I finished them off. We knocked out al-Baghdadi, the founder of ISIS.
And so if you can fade it out, Jimmy, this morning, President Trump releasing a statement, I really do love you. I know I just won the election. He says, I've never felt love like that. New York rally, thank you. Together I know victory is certain because of you. 47 days. In 47 days, I will be elected the 47th president of the United States. And he goes on from there. But I think he was feeling the love. I think he was basking in the glow of especially his hometown. There's nothing like being in your hometown and feeling that love and coming home, even when you think of maybe an athlete, let's say. I think that's a big deal. I know for my husband, Larry, actually, when he came back to Philadelphia in television and people said, why are you leaving? You're hosting a national show in L.A., living the good life on the West Coast in Los Angeles. He did Access Hollywood. He was a co-host of that. And he said, I always dreamed of going home to Philadelphia, my hometown. And so I think there is something to be said for that you want to feel that love in your hometown. For Trump, he was saying he's pushing this hard because, of course, you hear Kamala Harris and the Democrats lie in commercials and say Trump, Project 2025, as part of that, he's going to cut your Social Security. And there's no evidence. He's never said that before. I've looked for that. Where are they getting this from as far as a Trump statement? It's nowhere. And so he has said, I'm not part of Project 2025. They're basically making something up. And so this is, again, he's reiterating this, that I'm not going to get rid of Social Security. And in fact, I want to make this a federal issue that your Social Security, because you've earned it, should never be taxed. He went through no taxes on overtime, no taxes on tips. That was another one. You heard the 10% for credit cards. I believe that's something new. I haven't heard him talk about that. And then the other one, of course, the announcement that was hoped for, and that was that so-called SALT tax. So that's that 10K limit. New Jersey has complained a lot about it. But for anybody who, let's say you commute to New York City, so that affects surrounding states, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, that affects a lot of folks, and he went through that. So that was something that was anticipated. Your thoughts as far as the Trump rally, what Trump is talking about. I also want to get through some of the Gutfeld sound, and I do want to queue up, even though we played them much earlier this morning, clips 18, clips 21, clip 23 for Sean and for Jimmy Kelly. If you can cue those up, I had emailed you that I wanted those 3 clips 18, 21, 23. So let's go through this if we could. And that was, I loved this one as well, as far as Trump on, this is clip 23, as it's pretty funny that he's really saying, hey, folks, we got to get out the vote here. And this is across America. It's not just for New Yorkers. This is clip 23. Pretty funny, got a huge laugh. Let's listen in. Okay, you know what? We'll take a quick break. Some little technical problems playing that one. Let's take a break, and we'll get your thoughts on the other side. Dawn Stensland here. 855-839-1210 is the number to call. Be right back.
Hey, it's Greg with Kale & Company. This year, FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, is giving you a chance to win big every Thursday night with FanDuel Squares. It's the same Super Bowl Squares game you've always known, only way better. That's because your numbers aren't just randomly assigned. You get to pick them yourself. You get to see the odds beforehand, and you can bet them live during the game. This week's Thursday night matchup is Buffalo at Miami, with Miami being favorite at -2.5. It's the perfect game to start this with because you don't have any skin in this game. Make it a little more interesting. What are you waiting for? Go to FanDuel.com/Greg, FanDuel.com/Greg, and bet on Squares. Plus, if you're new to FanDuel, you can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Maybe place a 5 spot on the Eagles Monday night, a -6.5 against Atlanta. FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of 1210 WPHT. 21 and over, President PA. First online real money wager, only $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Honey, I got a guy to fix our roof.
Oh no. The last time your friend recommended a guy, we had to get the repairs repaired.
It's not just any guy, it's PJ Fitzpatrick. Look, they have thousands of 5-star reviews and over 40 years of experience. PJ can fix leaky windows, broken siding, rotted trim, and damaged leaking roofs in just one day. Plus, PJ Fitzpatrick can even clean our gutters.
That's my kind of guy. What are you waiting for? Visit trustpj.com and set up an appointment today. TrustPJ.com.
The back-to-school savings event is here at Hesser Chevrolet. Drive away in a 2024 Trax 2RS at $298 for 36 months. Or electrify your commute in a 2024 Equinox LS at $249 for 24 months. Enjoy top-rated customer service and unbeatable deals. Don't wait. These offers won't last. Experience the difference at Hesser Chevrolet, Philadelphia's trusted Chevy dealer. Check us out at HesserChevy.com. Call 267-343-9094 for details.
Join us to conquer childhood cancer on Sunday, September 29th for Children's Hospital of Philadelphia's Parkway Run and Walk, presented by Citadel Credit Union. All funds raised support CHOPS Cancer Center. Learn more and register today at parkway.chop.edu.
This Saturday morning at 10, tune into a special edition of Your Radio Doctor with Dr. Marianne Ritchie and find out about alcohol use disorder, plus all the latest news and information about your health and wellness. Don't miss Your Radio Doctor Saturday morning at 10.
There's breaking news all day long from around the world, and sometimes all that noise makes it hard to hear about what's happening right here at home. With the free Odyssey app, getting your local news plus breaking news is easy. And even when you're not near a radio, stay connected with what's going on right here by listening live and push alerts. Just download the free Odyssey app and search and follow your local news station, and you're good to go. The local breaking news to get you through your day at your fingertips on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
If you're looking to furnish your home or replace your old furniture, your journey begins and ends at Bucks County Estate Traders. One piece of advice, make sure you have time when you come here. The 58,000 square foot showroom is a furniture wonder. wonderland. Quality high-end pieces with inventory changing daily. It's all here. Mid-century modern, traditional, vintage, antique, and name brands. They'll ship anywhere, or you can pick up in-store. Bucks County Estate Traders in Hatfield or at buckscountyestatetraders.com.
Turn off the financial news and turn on a great retirement. Find out how with Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Don't miss the Education Show with Dom Giordano every Sunday morning at 5:30. Find out how you can help your child or grandchild succeed. Sponsored by New Hope Academy.
Free speech lives here with Dom Giordano, weekdays noon till 3 on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
A somber day here in Philadelphia as we honor a Philadelphia hero as he's being hailed. And this is Officer Jamie Roman, 31 years young, leaves behind his wife, 2 young children, his little girl, little boy. What a sad day in Philadelphia. And hundreds of law enforcement from across the nation coming here as well as we remember the life of our fallen hero, Philadelphia police officer Jamie Roman. His family should have been celebrating his 32nd birthday this coming up weekend, and so he'll be laid to rest today. Early this morning, in the wee hours of the morning, I was, driving into work in the dark. You think about that, and in the darkness, there were images as well in the pre-dawn hours of that motorcade and that procession that was making its way from, because the viewing was last night, obviously, in the Northeast Givnish Funeral Home, and then making the way respectfully and down I-95 and then toward the Basilica to properly and respectfully transport Officer Roman's body. And so this beginning between the viewing, a second viewing then began at 8 o'clock this morning, and then the funeral service will follow, and that begins in less than 45 minutes. So I do want to say, if you just say a prayer for Officer Roman's family, his wife, his widow, young widow, and as well for his fellow officers here in Philadelphia. He was gunned down by this scumbag who, quite frankly, was in and out of the system. Typical rap sheet, the whole thing. And the guy, then we later learned, had allegedly shot at police previously in Puerto Rico. And that was after a carjacking. So why don't we take, and I've done so many interviews on this with so many different, and this is shouldn't even be political, because there's so many experts, of the stream of them, who talk about this, that only a tiny percentage of individuals wreak havoc on our streets and commit the violence that we see. So all we have to do is extract them from our communities and put them away. And instead, there's this philosophy that we've seen it fail here in Philadelphia, the philosophy of one very progressive district attorney, Larry Krasner. But he's not alone in that. I mean, it's nationwide. Kamala Harris was one of the first. Kamala Harris, if you think about it, is like the pioneer progressive, worst ever DA, right? But these policies, they don't work. And they put these predators and put these criminals back out among us, only to wreak havoc and violence and crime in our communities. And this is proven through study after study after study. As far as this one goes, I just do want to remind you that the traffic in and around, you think of Center City, Philadelphia, the Basilica of Saints Peter and Paul this morning. Obviously, you have a huge crowd outside the Basilica because there's that big Globotron, and they're streaming live because there are so many who want to come and pay their respects, and so they're outside paying their respects, and so a lot of those streets are cordoned off. And then, obviously, after the funeral this afternoon. So think about traffic. I just want to give you that heads up for sure. Do we have those other clips? Maybe not. You know what? We'll move on. We'll move forward with other news of the day. There's a lot this day, so we'll move forward with the other news of the day. And as far as the Trump, rally goes, I know that he went to that Bitcoin bar, which this is the power of Trump as well. As you think about, nobody even knew what a crypto Bitcoin bar. What the heck is that? Nobody knew. Now everybody's looking that up today. But I want to get back to those clips that I referred to and just bring you maybe a little laughter, as there were some light moments where Trump seemed to be just kind of riffing and talking about getting out the vote. And we've talked about Swamp the Vote PA here, and that's a website you can look up. But here is cut 23, and this is at the Trump rally last night. Maybe not. Let's take a quick break. We'll take a break, and I apologize, just some technical images happening. So please forgive me and be patient. Under construction. Be right back.
Gonna dig a hole in your backyard? Call 811. Don't be caught off guard, because PA1 Call's got your back to help locate those utilities stat.
Play it safe and do your part so no one in the neighborhood's house goes dark.
But if you don't, and there's an outage, you might have to deal with some screams and shoutage. Because ain't nothing worse when your toilet won't flush, your lights go out,
when your pipes bust.
Yeah, your neighbors are gonna love you. Know what's below? Call 811 before you dig. Help us at 50 and 5. More at PA1Call.org. Jack Daniels and Coca-Cola tailgating and watching the birds. It doesn't get any better. So stop by your local PA Fine Wine and Good Spirits store and save $1 on cases of Jack and Coke and Jack and Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Along with Jack Honey and Lemonade, Jack and Ginger Ale, and Jack and Tennessee Apple Fizz. All ready to drink in a can. Jack and Coke. Board for the tailgate. Please drink responsibly. Whiskey Specialty, 7% ABV. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniel's Little Number 7 are registered trademarks of Jack Daniel's Properties, Inc. Coca-Cola is a trademark of the Coca-Cola Company.
Another summer has come and gone. The air is crisper. And of course, football is back. That means the holidays will be here soon. Time to get off the sidelines and huddle up with Cozy Jewelers and pick out the perfect piece for the one you love. There is nothing more thoughtful than a one-of-a-kind piece of jewelry made locally at Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square. Paul Cozy is the guy for all of your custom jewelry needs. Family owned and operated. Step up to the 5th C. That's color, cut, clarity, carat, and cozy. CozyJewelers.com.
The sensational Sarah McLachlan, live in Atlantic City, celebrating 30 years of fumbling towards ecstasy, performing the album in its entirety, plus her greatest hits, for one incredible night, with special guest, Tiny Habits, live at Borgata Hotel Casino and Spa, Friday, October 25th. Get tickets now at theborgata.com.
Of course, we all need to save a little cash, especially during back-to-school season. Saving money on your utility bills is a great start. Sign up for the CNC Heating and Air Conditioning Maintenance Plan. Minimize the wear and tear on your system and lower your energy bills this winter. If your HVAC needs replacing, CNC makes budgeting for a new system a snap with 0% financing options. Schedule an estimate today with CNC Heating and Air Conditioning, your local York-certified comfort experts. Start saving today. Visit cc-hvac.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Something else that Trump talked about last night, how much he was honored, so honored to what he feels is getting the union vote. And we can all read between the lines here. So I know that he had spoken about that, saying during the rally, and I apologize, just some technical machinery, issues that we're having today. So I apologize, but I'll paraphrase for you that Trump had talked about what a great honor it is as far as all the support from the Teamsters. And he knows that he had gotten the union vote in the past, and exclusively the Teamsters worked in building when he built up New York City and built all those buildings, back when the media loved him and he was a darling because he donated to Democrats and Republicans, and they thought he was a Democrat. He was really somebody who, I think, as he has said, he knew how to play the game. And so, yes, he donated to Democrats. He donated to Republicans. Everybody loved him, until he came out and put an R behind his name, and then everything changed. But when I think about the endorsement, this is such a slap in the face to Kamala Harris, that the fact that she is the very first Democrat in decades to not get the full endorsement, the big embrace, the big hug from the Teamsters Union. And I think it's telltale, even though in Pennsylvania, and I reported this earlier, in Pennsylvania, the union leadership yesterday in the Pittsburgh area, they were quick to report that IBEW Teamsters, they were endorsing Kamala Harris. Locally here, some of the Teamsters have said, in the past or this summer that they support Kamala Harris as well. But that's your leadership. I thought it was telltale that they released nationally, they released a poll that said essentially Trump, the rank and file union workers, 60% support Trump. And so therefore they were just going to kind of put their hands up in the air and say, you know what, we feel like, not for nothing, but neither one is the best for the union. So, you do what you want to do. It's almost like don't ask, don't tell. Remember with Clinton, don't ask. It's the union saying, don't ask, don't tell. That's what that seems like to me. And I think for here in Pennsylvania, my take on that one is we still have Governor Josh Shapiro, Democrat. And so I think the union leadership here in PA in Philadelphia is savvy enough, let's say. And I remember the PSP, police, the Pennsylvania State Police Union, the troopers, right? They had endorsed Shapiro, even though I know for a fact that maybe the rank and file, who do I think they voted? Who did they vote for? How did they vote previously? I'll just leave that up to your discretion. But in my humble opinion, in this one, in Pennsylvania, they didn't want to sort of spit in the face of Shapiro because politically that may not go so well for them. But I also think it plays into what happened here in Philadelphia with Mayor Sherrell Parker sticking with the union and being loyal to the union strong, because you think about thousands of jobs at play here with this $1 billion deal as far as a new Sixers stadium going into the city, into the community, in what many in Chinatown say, hey, this is bad for our culture, bad for Chinatown. And where's the traffic plan? How are you going to make this work? I mean, think about the gridlock when you go into South Philadelphia, right? If you're going to the stadium area, any game, it's total gridlock. So just your thoughts on that one, as far as that one moving forward. Those leaders in Chinatown and the business community, they certainly have promised that they are. This is not over, and they will fight this. They will fight it in court. They will fight it every way they can. They pointed to the fact that the developers hired lobbyists for at least $5 million. So they're saying, this is going to cause such gridlock and take away from our culture, our community, and destroy and disrupt Chinatown. So your thoughts on that one, 855-839-1210. Summer's over. Everybody's back on the roads. This is officially the last week of summertime that we're experiencing because fall is about to kick off officially. So my friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles are always going to help you find that luxury vehicle. You've been, you want it. You've been eyeing it. You've earned it. Now go get it with a little help from my friends, because Piazza, they have thousands of new and certified pre-owned vehicles from brands such as Mercedes-Benz, Land Rover, Jaguar, Maserati, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, and more. Just visit them, PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com. It's PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com. You can stop by one of their many Pennsylvania, Delaware, or New Jersey dealers. PIAZZA, PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
I don't know if you guys agree with this, but if I'm Trump, I'm no longer taking phone calls from Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. My iPhone rings. You see the little accept or decline button? Decline. I did the photo op with you on 9/11 after the stage debate on ABC. Kamala will be right back on the wagon today, I'm sure, and you're going to hear the same old rhetoric. Not about her opportunity economy and the specifics of what that entails, but just the general entry-level stupid verbiage.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. This year, FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, is giving you a chance to win big every Thursday night with FanDuel Squares. It's the same Super Bowl Squares game you've always known, only better. That's because your numbers aren't randomly assigned. You get to pick them yourself. You can pick as many as you like. You'll get to see the odds beforehand, and you can bet them live during the game. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/Dom, D-O-M, and bet on Squares. Plus, if you're new to FanDuel, you get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place that first $5 bet. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus. Present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. Visit NJDiet.com or call 855-5NJ-DIET. That's 855-5NJ-DIET. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are having two fabulous back-to-school specials. The 2024 S60 front-wheel drive sedan and the exciting electric C40. Each can be leased for 36 months for $369. Do It Inception would be a down payment and taxes and registration fees. But in New Jersey, this C40 has no tax. The $369 is an incredible payment on each of these Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Our team would be honored to partner with you.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause, brought to you by Advocacy United at a special time. This Saturday, September 21st at noon. Find out the latest about important issues affecting you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday at noon on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
They say money doesn't grow on trees, but at First Harvest Credit Union, we can help you grow your financial future with our growth savings account. You can earn as high as 3.5% annual percentage yield while enjoying flexible access to your funds. Visit firstharvestcu.com or your nearest branch to get details and open a growth savings account and watch your money grow. First Harvest Credit Union, serving the Delaware Valley for over 84 years. Membership restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Gerhard's Appliance September Sidewalk Sale is going on this weekend at our Doylestown location. Come in Saturday from 10 to 4 and Sunday 11 to 4 to save up to 70% on one-of-a-kind, out-of-box, and scratch and dent appliances from all the top brands. Save up to 70% on refrigerators, ranges, dishwashers, microwaves, washers, dryers, and so much more. The September Sidewalk Sale is on this weekend only at Gerhard's Appliances of Doylestown.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is Larry Steiners with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steiners with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there, investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
Free speech lives here with Kale and Company weekday mornings on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
So let's have a little fun, shall we? If you were up late, or I review all of this stuff early in the morning, and it was just what a joy. It was a lot of fun to see Trump on Gutfeld, and it's just effortless. I mean, it was just a conversation. It was a lot of fun to see, former President Trump in that setting. And let's just go to, this is just one of many of my favorite moments, but this was in which Gutfeld is asking him about Howard Stern. And first of all, I love the way, the thing I love about this show is I love that everybody on the show, especially Greg Gutfeld, I just love Tyrus. He always says something that's refreshing, and he says something that's just different. The way their brains work and the way they think is just, I think Jimmy Fallon is kind of like this too, but they just think differently, and they're going to say something that you haven't heard. They have original thought. There aren't many people in this world that are like that. And Kat Timpf is another one. If you look her up, I mean, she's very bright, and she's so self-deprecating because she's now pregnant. She's pretty funny. She has a new book out. But listen to, first of all, Gutfeld's take on why he thinks that especially people like Howard Stern that used to love Trump now want to hate on him. And then it moves on to Trump's answer.
I hate the people who vote for him. I think they're stupid. I don't think I do. I'll be honest with you. I have no respect for you.
If you could be president, do you ever think about anything like that? No. Really, never?
Diddy.
No. Why?
I wouldn't make Diddy. And so they play those clips that you just heard in their video segment, and now you'll hear, if you continue it, Trump responding. Oh, no. I'm so sorry.
More well known.
There we go.
Does that make sense?
Well, I watch, I know some of them, and like Howard, I was on Howard Stern's show as much as anybody, and he was great at that time, and then he went woke.
Yeah.
And since he's gone woke, his ratings have gone down the tubes, and he sort of went anti-Trump for a couple of reasons. Mm-hmm. But I was on his show a lot.
Yeah.
In fact, he has a best of. Did you ever see the best of Howard Stern? I don't want to promote it necessarily, but and I was there for just about all of them. The best of. We had good shows. He was good, but he's changed, and he doesn't do the ratings anymore.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have to. He's almost finished. Kat, do you remember Howard Stern?
No, but
She's younger.
You've been on every show. I mean, you've been on TV a lot.
A lot of shows.
I mean, would you rule out?
Yeah, and she goes on to ask him, the cut clips off, she goes on to ask him, would he ever, I guess presumably when he's 80, when he's, in his 80s, because I think this guy has such longevity. I don't know if she said, would you ever rule out doing another TV gig, which is it's funny to me. That first of all, she's too young because she's the next generation. She didn't really know who Howard Stern was. But then he goes into this whole thing where he explains the backstory. And I've heard this from people before, that at NBC, they begged Trump to sign a new deal because The Apprentice was, for a while there, that's all you saw. And they would do the best of. And even after he didn't sign a contract with them, it still went on for years. So technically it was like maybe he went on for 12 years, but I think that it was on the air for a total of maybe 14, 16 years, whatever that was. But they wanted him to sign a fresh 5-year deal. They loved him, and had a great relationship with him. So all these stories, and I just want you to just think about that. This is NBC News, right? And you have all the producers, think of the photographers. I mean, I worked at CBS Network News for a time as a host on CBS News. I can tell you for our show, right, it was the staff. We had dozens of people, executive producer, and then all the producers and all the assistant producers and the sets and the set building and the wardrobe people and the drivers that drove you in your little black car to and from. And I mean, it was the makeup and hair people. I mean, just I think of my involvement at that level. I can't even imagine for a huge hit primetime show like The Apprentice, how many people on that staff. I mean, that was a huge moneymaker for them and a biggity big, as I say, primetime production. You think of all the people who works with Trump on that show. Gee, isn't it funny that all those years, where were all the stories about people quitting? I'm not going to work with Trump and his kids. That Ivanka was on there, Eric, Don Jr., remember that? They were all on there. Oh, all you heard was all the love. They loved the Trump family, Donald Trump, right? What a pro, what a professional. He was on with Dennis Rodman was on there. He talked about that last night. All these, he's a role model, how he, worked with anybody from any walk of life. Remember this? I know it seems like 100 years ago, doesn't it? And you would never hear anybody reference that. But what network is this that we're talking about? It's the same network of the Morning Mika show that I talk about, Mr. and Mrs. Scarborough, right? That's NBC owned. How come we never hear from back in the day anybody say, oh, they were terrible to work with, and oh, what a racist. Oh, what a racist family. They were terrible. Never hear it. You know why you never hear it? Because it's a lie. It's an ugly lie. That's why. Trust me, it's a business of people who, especially those who are not as talented, or they get irked at somebody or have a vendetta, right? They're going to stab them in the back. You never hear it. You never heard it. How come? Because the truth is that everybody who worked with DJT and his kids and anybody connected with him, they said, what professionals. That's what I always heard. What a pro. They come in, they are such professionals. They are easy to work with. They're respectful to the crew and to the staff. And see, that's what I'm telling you. I can tell you in television, I can tell you right now, I can watch different people locally, and if they're not shot as well or lit as well, they're not nice to the crew. And those are all union crews that Trump worked with. So if he treated them in a way that he was disrespectful or demeaning or demoralizing, trust me, you would have heard about it. You never hear it because the truth is he came in, he did the job, he was a pleasure to work with, and he was respectful to everybody, especially the union crew. And to me, that's the mark of somebody. I always look for people like this. Do you ever work with people that you have somebody who is, they're such a suck-up. They're the biggest suck-up in the world to those above them. But to those they view as below them, they are not nice. They are nasty. Do you ever notice that? For Trump, the difference with him is that he valued and joked around with the crew. He loved working with that union crew. And that's what he was known for. And that's why, as far as the Teamsters, when he said last night at the rally, what a great honor. And then he was interviewed, I know after the fact at that crypto bar, whatever you want to call it. Let's get to, if we can, clip 23. This is pretty funny, and he gets a pretty good laugh, and he's just riffing. He's just having fun, and he's basking in the glow and the warmth of his hometown, his New Yorkers. This is his town, and he feels the love, and it's a huge crowd that's reacting to him. So take it in.
We can do all of this and more, but patriotic New Yorkers must get your asses out to vote. Gotta get up. Gotta get up. Harry, get up, Harry. Harry, get your fat ass out of the couch. You're going to vote for Trump today, Harry. Get up, Harry. Come on, let's go. Let's go, Harry.
And so this is his way of inspiring people. It's just funny. And it's just his way. He's riffing. And here's the piece of Donald J. Trump. Maybe you don't like that he cursed. With your vote. Maybe you don't like that he cursed. Maybe you don't appreciate that, right? But I will say this. Nobody says, oh, this guy's a fake. He's a phony. This is DJT. He is 100% authentic, right? And whether it's the things like that maybe say, oh, he shouldn't have cursed. He shouldn't have said the A. Oh, he said ASS. Oh, why didn't he say took us or something? This is who he is. The good, the bad, the ugly, the warts, whatever you want to say. And so he's believable. And his opponent is the opposite. A phony, a chameleon, the say anything candidate who is the incumbent in office right now, who should take responsibility but takes zero responsibility. 855-839-1210. I'm up against a break. Thanks for being here today. Oh, he wants me to keep going. All right, let's take your calls if we can. Let's get to Big Al. Hey, Big Al.
Hey, Dawn. How you doing today?
Great.
I thought there was something as the rules or laws where there's something called truth in advertising. And, when I hear these commercials that Chameleon Harris is running about Trump's going to, cut Social Security, cut welfare, cut this, cut that. He's never said anything like that. He said he's going to not tax Social Security, not tax this. Now, these are blatant lies that they're running, but there's nothing that can be done, or nobody checks, the facts or whatever to make people talk the truth.
I agree with you. I have always believed that you did bear some responsibility. And remember way back in the day when Bush obviously went on to win the nomination, and I had interviewed at a network level, I'd interviewed John McCain and talked to him about this. But remember, and that's just it, the campaigns have always been ugly, but remember when the allegations or the insinuation about the late John McCain was that he had a love child of a different ethnicity. This is really ugly that this happened, but the insinuation was that he somehow had a love child, and that he and Cindy, his wife, were claiming that in fact this is the child they adopted, but she's not really adopted. I don't know if you remember this. And so at the time, John McCain called out the Bush campaign for those ads, and George W. Bush said, "We will end this." I didn't know anything about it. I swear I didn't have anything to do with it. Whether he did or not, Bush and George W. was good about whether you believe that it was an act. He said, "I will look into this, and I have nothing to do with this, and I'm calling for an end." And boom, they removed it because it was just a lie, and it was really nasty about a little girl. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like okay, we watched her little interview with the black reporters in Philadelphia. The first question that she was asked was in reference to, you hear people saying that we were better off 4 years ago than we are today. Mm-hmm. What do you say to that? And she didn't answer the question. She went off in her little thing. Well, I was a little girl, and she did for 3 minutes, and she did not answer the question. Yeah. She never does, and she just moves on and talks about the same things over and over and over again, not giving substance, not giving answers, but just dodging. And they say, what a wonderful job she's doing.
Yeah. Yeah, to your point, as far as NABJ, the National Association of Black Journalists, and like I say, there were students in the crowd as well. And there were some individuals and some in the crowd who later said, she really did not answer our questions or some of the questions. And to their credit, some in the local media, in the broadcast media, I didn't see it in print as much, who, to their credit, said she kind of stuck to her script and did not really ask our question. I thought, good for you. The local media sometimes is better than the national media. Because maybe they don't get the marching papers as well. But you're exactly right that the national media, especially the press pool, allows this, and there is not a checks and balances situation that we see. And that is wrong. I will tell you this, that leaves it up to us, we the people. And this situation that's happening with ABC News, the fact that this week they have lost 1 million viewers, and David Muir is on his tour to try to mitigate the damage. But this is a real problem, and this is an example of we the people. We do have power. You and me, babe. We have the power, and that's why for Republicans or for those independents who don't like this, turn them off. Let them see the power of the people. And how many tens of millions of people want a fair media? And I'm not saying biased. If David Muir if David Muir had just been as tough, like if he had been tough on Trump and equally tough on Kamala Harris, hey, that would have been fantastic. But that's not what this was.
Fact checked what she says. Yes. She says he was given $450 million to start. Right away that should have been, no, that's not true, Kamala. And this is, I just want to say to the reporters out there, how about, maybe they've heard something called a follow-up question? When Kamala danced around that question with that interview, me and my wife were sitting there. I said, I hope they ask her, Kamala, answer the question. That wasn't the question that we asked you. Just answer it, please.
Yeah.
But nobody does that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Al, thank you for your insights. I agree with you. Thank you, Al. Have a great day. I think that the rest of the media, though, sees the impact on ABC News and on David Muir, who, and I think it was Dom Giordano the one day, right, the next day after that debate. Even Dom had said, wow, he was surprised. You heard Trump last night and on other occasions. I think Trump was taken aback because maybe you expected it from Lindsay Davis, who I didn't really know who she was, to be perfectly honest, and not as many people did. But from David Muir, he has always claimed that he played it down the middle. The fact that he was clearly biased and not fact-checking Harris at all, letting her say all of the things that you and I have gone over. But then at the same point with Trump, the fact that Lindsay Davis was saying things that I went through this, I won't go through it again, but Lindsay Davis said things that in her fact checks that have now been fact checked, that even their own colleague, as I said before, Martha Raddatz on ABC News just this past Sunday had fact checked her own colleagues and called them out. Good for Martha, but this does not bode well for ABC News or David Muir. And I think it is a message that will be heard by other network anchors, because at the end of the day, those network anchors, they don't want to lose 1 million people in the ratings, and they don't want to lose their cushy job, which, by all accounts, you're looking at $20 million a year in that salary. And I might point out to you right now, because of their third-rate ratings, Nora O'Donnell of CBS News, she is being pushed out. She's being replaced by those two guys. I told you this yesterday. And so there's a shakeup right now because people just don't trust mainstream news. They're all suffering in the ratings. The one who looks good right now is Lester Holt, who I will say to you, and I'm not just saying this because he was a mentor. I was a young reporter in Chicago at CBS, and he was a gentleman and very good to me at the time. And I consider Lester a mentor. But Lester looks good right now because what is playing in one of the ads, by the way, one of the Trump ads, is that they took a snippet of that famous interview Lester Holt did with Kamala Harris, and he says, well, you haven't been to the border. And she goes, well, I haven't been to Europe either. I don't know what your point is. And she really, it's embarrassing. So Lester was just asking a fair question. And by the way, he wasn't being biased either way, but he looks good, especially in light of the ABC debacle. It's a controversial debate performance by those hosts. All right, I'm up against a break here. I appreciate you being here. We'll have a great interview coming up, and you'll learn about what's happening right here in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania with Trump 4-7. We've got some great news coming up. We'll be right back.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This has been a test of the emergency alert system.
Upgrade your bathroom with Emmons Remodeling.
We offer custom design, build, renovation services to fit your style and budget. Our designers work closely with you to create the perfect space for you and your family.
Experience luxury and functionality with the expert team at Emmons.
So call us at 856-885-6677. Again, that's 856-885-6677, or visit us at callemmons.com. From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever, overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for president.
New Jeeps from $269 a month at TurnersVilleJeep.com. Drive a new Wrangler, Grand Cherokee, Compass, or Ram truck from $269 a month at TurnersVilleJeep.com.
2024 Compass, 4-cylinder auto, $269 a month, 7,500 miles, closed-in lease, 39 months with $2,269 due at inception. Total payments $12,491. MSRP $35,340. VIN number RT175028. Residual $19,083. Tax and tags extra. Not valid with trade-in. $599 doc fee. Ends 9/7/24.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
The breaking story here in Philadelphia is heartbreaking news as thousands gather, commemorate the life of a real-life hero, a young man, Philadelphia policeman, Jamie Roman. And so right now, as I speak, the funeral gets underway for Officer Roman. His body, of course, had been moved from Givnish Funeral Home in the Northeast in the pre-dawn hours, a somber procession, and moved then to the Basilica of Saints Peter and Paul. His young widow, his two young children, little 7-year-old girl. Let's listen in live if we can.
The Cathedral Basilica of Saints Peter and Paul just before sunrise, and that is where a funeral mass for the fallen officer is about to begin. Good morning. I'm NBC 10's Matt.
Yeah, so we don't want to. I didn't want to take that. I thought maybe we had a speaker. Let's fade that down if we may, Jimmy. He essentially was saying what I was telling you, that the funeral begins now for Officer Jamie Roman. He will be laid to rest today. Gunned down in the line of duty during what began as a routine traffic stop. That was back in June, and then he fell into a coma. Many prayers for him, many prayers for a miracle. But he lost that battle for life last week. And so now we know that a second viewing actually was this morning from 8 until just now. And as I speak right now, inside the Basilica, the funeral begins with his family, his loved ones, friends, co-workers, and law enforcement gathering from across the country as we all think about his life and that he died a hero. I'd heard the commissioner speak earlier, Commissioner Bethel, and he said something that was so beautiful that he said, that in his career, as he thinks about this, he's now in his maybe moving toward his mid-60s, and so he views somebody like Officer Roman as one of his kids, his family, and that's just it. That as we've gone through, especially the past 4 years, and you think of even the past, you think of the defund the police movement. Think about the summer of 2022 and violence against officers. As many officers have decided to retire and leave the force, a job that they've loved, but they couldn't take it anymore. What happened was, I think it drew the police, the law enforcement community even closer because they're the ones that stayed. And for somebody like Officer Roman, somebody who wanted to get into the business, if you will, of protecting and serving our community. And so even though the funeral actually is reserved for family, friends, law enforcement, as well as personnel, dignitaries, others, we know that there are many gathered outside the Basilica on this day. And the video from the service is being displayed on a big Jumbotron stationed right in front of the Basilica because there's such a demand by people who say, I want to come, I want to pay my respects, and I want to back the blue. I want a show of force that we say thank you. Thank you for your service, not just to Officer Roman, but as well to all of the law enforcement who are gathered in their grief and in their celebration of the life of Officer Jamie Roman. Again, would have turned 32 years old this weekend, and his family, instead of celebrating with him, they are celebrating his life and his life as a dad. His children will grow up without knowing their dad, but certainly will know about his legacy. Other news of the day today: 4 international Lehigh University students under arrest and expelled, kicked out of school. They're accused of faking transcripts to get into this prestigious school. They're identified as Evans Opong, Krilististan Soa Nai, Otis Opaku, and Henry Dabuo. They're facing forgery and other theft of service charges. These are serious charges. And one of them kind of raised eyebrows and raised some red flags because of the latest person who was admitted to the school because of, some of the transcripts that seemed concerning and raised these alarms, if you will. And then as they began to look into one of the individuals, they began to look at all four. Another one, I guess, was they looked and said, really, this doesn't look like somebody who's college age. He looks a lot older. But they said that, some of the transcripts had concerning formats, markings, spelling errors, leading them to question the validity. And that's really what kicked off this major investigation. And so police got involved. They say with the help of the U.S. Department of State, the university, they discovered these fake transcripts that led them down to really investigating all of these other students. And the four had each already received anywhere from $120,000 all the way up to nearly $250,000 in financial aid. So I don't have all of the details, and I do question there are so many questions. For example, when they say they had received the financial aid, okay, is that private banks? Is any of that money public? Are they grants? Because now I have the question of, wow, really, with the issue of how unaffordable college is, are these grants being afforded to people from other countries, and do they get ahead of U.S.-born students? How does that work? And then, it just leads you into so many national security issues, because, of course, we've heard about the fact that, this will lead me into the other story about somebody who's a homegrown accused terrorist. But you think of terrorism in the world, you think of who are these individuals? Who's responsible for vetting them? And even though it looks like the latest young man that they let in, obviously the transcript, and this was for admission, so I guess they had just admitted him, but they were having questions about it. And during the admissions process, the finalization, that's when they had some flags raised. But the other three certainly had fully, they had been admitted and they were all getting this money. So does the money go back? What about the money? That's one of my questions. And then the other one is, who vets these individuals? And isn't there a separate vetting process? And how did this go so far? I mean, they're here. So obviously, if they were here in Pennsylvania, right, and these are foreign students, how does all this work? So I have so many questions about it. Lehigh releasing a statement saying that fraud impacts the integrity of the admissions process, and if left unaddressed, the university's ability to create opportunities for qualified students, that's threatened. And they did add, though, that they remain committed to attracting students from across the globe, and that admissions processes are continuously reviewing, and they're being enhanced as well. So, hey, we all want the brightest minds, right? We want the brightest and the best from around the world, people who are brilliant scientists and mathematicians and all of that. On the other hand, during these perilous times, it raises a lot of red flags. So if you have any thoughts on that one, 855-839-1210 is the number to call. And then that leads me to the other story and we have been talking about this morning. Yesterday, as I was live on the air, we were monitoring. There was a news conference going on. At this point, I wish that I had taken it live, because there were some bombshells in here, as the news conference from Philadelphia was really outlining a story about a young man, a teenager, who grew up right here and grew up in a nice Philadelphia neighborhood. I mean, so if you're familiar with the area right around St. Joseph's University on the main line, but on the Philadelphia side, and this is a nice neighborhood, and that's why, 13 months ago, when there was a raid that occurred, and I remember I was on the air and we were saying we were getting calls and people saying, what's going on? And the SWAT had moved in, and they had cordoned off a neighborhood, and we heard the word terrorist or terrorism, and there were concerns, and the neighbors were scared. What's going on? And now we know more, and they just released more. They waited 13 months, by the way, to release more information about this teenager. At the time, 17 years young. So they said at the time, well, he's a juvenile. We're not going to release his name because he's underage. So he has turned 18 years old. He's identified as Muyi Uddin Abdul Rahman. And he actually had, you can look him up yourself. I had looked him up after they identified him and yesterday, and he has competed in wrestling in national competitions. He's very good as a wrestler, and in fact had secured a scholarship, a sports college, full ride to college, because he's a top wrestler and a top student, very bright. And they even talked about this, that he was very creative, a critical thinker, a smart young man. And that's how he had, attracted college scholarship type interest. But instead, during the news conference, they said instead of going to college, he had his eye on something else. They say that he had no intention of going to college and knew he was planning to go to Syria, and knew that if he traveled to Syria, he was not coming back home. He was not going to college. He would never be allowed to come back into the U.S., but that he was interested in making bombs and explosives and working with a global terrorist organization that is affiliated with Al-Qaeda, that his dream was to become an actual terrorist and to commit acts of terrorism against his home, the U.S., the United States of America. In there, we learned that, in fact, he had a particular hatred for the LGBTQ plus community. Aha. That he was looking at garbage cans along the route of the Pride Parade. Aha. And so think about the narrative as I wrap up here, because I want to make time and make room for our guest upcoming. But think about this and wonder to yourself, oh, how come they didn't tell us all about this alleged terrorist? Even at the federal level, how come the feds, the FBI, because, boy, somebody locally, the FBI, if they're hunting down a J6er, right, who's in a Trump hat or a MAGA hat or whatever, they're going to splatter their face all over the place. So he's locally being charged, to my knowledge, and we never heard about him. He is a person who identifies in the black and brown community who had a particular hatred for the LGBTQ plus community. And even Larry Krasner himself let an assistant, an ADA, take over in this news conference. Didn't fit with the narrative, did it? A story that's should be making bigger news, in my humble opinion. The terrorist next door, allegedly, not making the headlines, is it? But if this guy was a white kid with a MAGA hat, trust me, it would be all splattered all over every network news station. You know I'm right. 855-839-1210. Great guest just ahead. Be right back.
Dom Giordano.
Whenever we talk with someone at these great events, I like to do a little lightning round. Taylor Swift.
Listen, honestly, I think JD Vance sort of said it best. When your grocery costs go up by 20%, it hurts you. It doesn't change anything for Taylor Swift. That's not going to stop her from flying on her Global Express all over the world. Yeah, it's just, I don't know that she's in tune. Like, my daughters like her music. Vote based on what you see with your own eyes. The media will tell you those eyes are lying to you, but if I see it, I'm sure you see it.
It's Dom time. Dom Giordano. Weekdays noon till 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And the free Odyssey app.
Hi, it's Rich Zioli. I'm joined here today by my friend, the co-president and CEO of Cooper University Healthcare, the one and only Dr. Anthony Mazzarelli. Dr. Maz and I are here to tell you about our buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria. Not only is he my dentist, he's my family's dentist as well. And not sure if you knew this, he's Dr. Maz's dentist too.
That's right, Rich. Dr. Mike Veneria is and has been my dentist also. And doctors choosing doctors, that can be quite a selective process. And not only do I go to them, but for years, my sister and my niece and my nephew, the whole family goes.
Well, it's no secret. We're all delighted by the care that Dr. Mike Veneria and his award-winning team provide, and you need to check him out.
Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, implant dentistry, you don't need to look any further. Dr. Veneria's office does everything. Dr. Veneria's office also exceeds all CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control, like their centralized UV sterilization of airflow, which is incredibly important to me.
Locations are right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Your perfect smile's waiting. Call 856-786-2020 or visit veneriadental.com.
Concert season is just heating up. Check out these awesome upcoming shows presented by Live Nation.
Jeff Lynne's ELO at Wells Fargo Center, September 20th and 21st. Ringo Starr and his all-star band at TD Pavilion at The Man on September 24th. Pod Save America podcast at the Met Philadelphia, presented by Highmark, October 6th.
To buy tickets and to check out all upcoming concerts, head to livenation.com right now.
As the leaves change, so can your ride. With the all-new 2025 Infiniti QX80, now available at Infiniti of Westchester. This month, elevate your drive with unmatched luxury, bold design, and performance that's built to conquer any season. The 2025 Infiniti QX80 is here, where style meets power and comfort knows no bounds. So visit us in-store or check us out online at infinityofwestchester.com and step into the future of driving today. Philly rides with us.
At some point today, everybody will use a bathroom. But if you're a contractor, there's an excellent reason why right now you could use a lot of bathrooms. It's the Great Bathroom Break at Colonial Marble and Granite, where every vanity you buy comes with a free stone countertop and free sink. Classic, traditional, contemporary, in stock for pickup or ready to ship. Choose a color and style, get a surface and sink, and you're good to go. So get going. Colonial Marble and Granite, the cornerstone of a beautiful home. Restrictions apply. Visit colonialmarble.net for details on their vanity special.
Family and Company Jewelers on Route 70 in Marlton, New Jersey is known for being South Jersey's diamond destination and your trusted jeweler for quality, service, and price. Choose from the largest selection of engagement rings in the area or have their master jewelers create a one-of-a-kind ring just for your special day. Visit their showroom or shop online at familyjewelers.com.
Family and Company Jewelers, South Jersey's diamond destination.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Are you a hopeful Republican? I know sometimes it just, with all of the news of the day, sad news of the day, the tragedies, and then with political news, and sometimes, as Al had expressed, it's frustrating. But I want to bring you a little hope with our friend Hope Danoff, Republicans with Hope, which is really a grassroots movement. And Hope, first of all, good morning. And I know that you have a lot to share with us, but how's it going, Hope?
It's going fantastic out here, Dawn. And I want to thank you so much for having me on today and to be able to spread this wonderful Republican movement and also to educate people what the Republican Party stands for. So I am out every day and night spreading the message.
I know you are. And, you have great events for sure around our area. Yes. And you have some upcoming, I know, and some announcements. So I know that I had been out in Westchester and was honored to speak at one of the Trump Force 47 Westchester events last week with North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum. And we had Don Jr. in town. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing, some of the events that you're involved with, and where people can either see those events, the highlights of them, or where they can attend.
Yes. Well, the thing is that I have several events, and I want to tell people also about a blog that I was just part of. It's called The Misconception and the Opinion of the Conservative Person. And it was just a wonderful event, a wonderful blog, because it really talks about why my friend that I met is an African-American woman and why she turned from Democrat to Republican and why she did it and how she did it, and really about spreading that message. The other thing I want to tell you, I have two events coming up, and I welcome everyone to come to republicanswithhope.com and to join this positive movement, because I want to tell you, Dawn, that I flag wave every week with all different diverse communities with Trump Force 47, and we go around all different places in Philadelphia with the Log Cabin Republicans and the Hispanic Republicans, And we are making such a huge difference. I know we touched on this before with the communist China, people that came here legally. I'm having another Zoom meeting on the 25th of September, and they are coming to vote Republican. It's really, there's a sea change happening, whether or not, I think people are feeling it, whether or not it shows up in the polls. We are going to win this election because I'm on the boots. I'm boots on the ground all over Pennsylvania, and I feel it. So the bottom line is we have two events coming up. One is going to be to meet and greet your diverse African-American candidates. And that's going to be meeting your Auditor General, Tim DeFore, September 28th. It's 801 Germantown Pike, East Norriton. Come. If there's any questions, go to my website, republicanswithhope.com, and you can email me as well at republicanswithhope.com@gmail. The other thing is we're having a fantastic Women for Trump event. It's free again, October 13th, in Marion Station at a beautiful home. You can get the location by going to my website or emailing me, and Lara Trump is going to be sending in a video thanking us for having this terrific event. So we are booming out here, and we're booming, Dawn, for a reason, because people are just fed up. They're fed up with what they're seeing in the grocery stores. They're fed up with what they're seeing in their community. Mm-hmm. They're fed up with what they're seeing in their school system. The world is upside down, and I just saw Vivek Ramaswamy, and I thought, I had like an aha moment when he was speaking, because he said, we're not, they basically took out Biden, who was being controlled by big tech and big government, basically big money, the coastal elites. They threw in Kamala Harris without any votes, and they're going to control her too. You see that she's flip-flopping to take over all of Donald Trump's policies. We cannot elect her, and she won't be elected. I'm out every single night spreading the message to different groups. But I also take the opportunity to tell your viewers, wherever you go, wherever you are, spread the message about what Republicans stand for. I was in a store yesterday, and I was returning something. There's a lovely gentleman from Cambodia, and he said, I'm really open to voting Republican because I live in South Philly, and I don't like what's going on there. 99.9% of the people that I talk to, and I just say, are you open-minded? Can we have a conversation? They say yes, yes, and yes. We're going to win this election.
Yeah, and I know there's a nice tie and friendship between Dave McCormick, who's obviously a Republican Senate candidate here running against third-time incumbent Senator Bob Casey. And I know that, for example, even, with Dave McCormick, Sarah Huckabee Sanders has endorsed him for Senate, but they go way back. They have a friendship, and maybe with his wife Dina as well. And so, with Sarah Huckabee Sanders, we played, obviously she was at the Trump rally in Michigan, and we played some of that audio with her, but we know that she is also coming to Pennsylvania. So are you looking forward to perhaps meeting Governor Huckabee Sanders?
I will. Funny you said that. I've been invited to go there, and I will be attending that. And I plan to, it's called Level Up, and I don't really know about that organization, but she emailed me and invited me, and I'm thrilled to come. And the other thing, I want to work with these different coalitions, Dawn, as well. Why I think that this is really booming, it's not about me. It's about saving this country, and they call me, it's funny, the connector. I connect people because I want to win this. And with this big coalition, we can win Pennsylvania, and we can win this country as well. That's my mission. I'm just getting started. I want to win this election, and then I want to take back Pennsylvania, make it red, let people know what we stand for. It's a wonderful opportunity. But with that, I love partnering with the Black Conservative Federation, with MAGA Black, with we talked about Level Up, and I'm going to be meeting her next week with Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and also with the Americans for Prosperity. I spoke at an event last week, and I invited her to speak, and she's speaking there on Friday as well. So we're building this great, diverse coalition, and that's how we become a force to really create change in not only this community, Pennsylvania, and then across the country.
So how can people find you, support you, and get involved?
Well, the great way is that we're all volunteer. We're a political action committee, and I'd love for you to reach out to republicanswithhope.com, to email me. at republicanswithhope@gmail.com to come to our events. I try to make all of them free because I want to welcome everyone. Most of them are free. And join this movement because it's really a wonderful, positive, diverse community. And that's what I want to create, Dawn. I really want to build with the youth, with the African-American community, to get into the inner cities. And that's what's happening. And so that's why we're really growing rapidly, because it's really resonating, this positive, diverse, message.
Mm-hmm.
It's really resonating in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, and hopefully throughout the country.
I often talk about, women, Republican women, and the fact that I can't tell you how many, I know you've dealt with this too, how many women especially are afraid to reveal to people, maybe even in their workplace or walking around, whatever they're involved with, that they are a Trump voter or Trump supporter, especially at the top of the ticket. But even somebody here in Pennsylvania who at the local level, they just don't want to come out of the closet. I'm always saying come out of the closet, especially if you're a conservative woman, because that's a piece of it. It's a bullying, it's an intimidation tactic, psychological warfare, if you will, to make people think, a section of the voters think, that there's something wrong with you. You are lesser, you're a little kooky, you're a little weird, and that you should, really what they're trying to do is rob us of diversity of thought and of our choice as to who we want to, at the end of the day, vote for. Have you experienced that especially with women, but just with the different groups? Because I know that you're doing all these events all over the place, meeting so many different people. Have you had those discussions, Hope, with people who say, yeah, maybe I thought that Republicans were like a bunch of goofballs or weirdos or anything of that nature, or people saying, yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, of course, I'm going to say, yes, I'm proud. I'm proud that I want to make America great again. Have you experienced any of that?
Yes. Well, first of all, it started at the polls when I started to work the polls, and I'll be there again this year. I'll be there every year. And the thing is that I live in a very Democratic area. People, they vote on one issue. They're mad at Donald Trump because they said, oh, my God, they took away Roe versus Wade. My answer to that is, number one, is that I don't vote on one issue. Number two, the other part about it is that, I am where Donald Trump is and the Republican Party. I just heard Donald Trump say he's against what DeSantis did with the 6-week abortion ban. He said, women don't even know that they're pregnant at that time. I'm rethinking it, he said, and I am for the second trimester. And that's where the country is. They're not for 24 weeks where Pennsylvania is. They're not for 30 weeks. They're not for 9 months. Mm-hmm. They are for the second trimester. So I open up the dialogue and I say I don't vote on one issue. And I'm where the Republican Party is. We're for the second trimester. Donald Trump is not for 6-week abortion ban. And that's where most people are. So that kind of says, really? He's not going to take away our rights? He's not a threat to democracy? They're drinking the Kool-Aid. Like I said in this fantastic, podcast that I was on, is that don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't drink it. You're in the inner cities. Are you safer? Is your community better off in the last 4 years? It's not. So then they say, you know what, I'm going to think differently today. That's how I really deal with women in the community about the abortion issue, because they're not informed. Most people are not informed. That's why I take it on the task to help save my country. And I'm not afraid to talk to anyone. They may not like me, this, that, and the other, but I have a bigger mission. God has put me here for a reason.
Well, we love you. And your name is so appropriate. So Hope Danoff, and Republicans for Hope. And there are so many positions that you can help people fill, right? If people just want to get involved.
Yes, absolutely. If you can come and join this fantastic movement, it's all volunteer. I have someone helping me with the newsletter. People are really coming because they're hearing about it. They want to be part of such a beautiful, positive, diverse community. It's something that's been lacking, and God gave me the will and the drive to do it, and I'm taking it full force. Here we go.
Well, love your energy. You're so fired up, and we need more positive energy, and we always need more hope. So I mean
yes,
that.
We do.
Thank you.
And I'm a big fan of yours, Dawn. And thank you once again for this great opportunity.
Well, I hope to see you soon. Thank you, Hope. Republicans for Hope, appropriately named. I think our own Jimmy Kelly, didn't you Jimmy, didn't you DJ at one of her events, if I recall correctly?
I did an event for her in August. It was a lot of fun, even though it looked like it was going to rain. And thankfully, the rain held off. As I was wrapping up and loading the car, it started raining. So we had a really good event, but we still had a great turnout. And then one day I actually went to one of their events and I actually spoke about what I do here at 1210 WPHT and did some voices for them, which they found kind of funny. And it was nice. It was really nice.
That's wonderful. I forgot to thank her for the T-shirt because you brought me a T-shirt, which I love.
Yeah, well, she gave me a T-shirt. She handed out a few. I gave one to my mom. I gave one to you because I think the big thing you and my mom have in common is that both of you will probably jump in front of the bullets for Donald Trump.
Women for Trump. Hoorah.
Exactly.
He did. He actually talked about last night. He said he wants to find the woman who had the mindset in Florida she saw, and this is always, if you see something, say something. We say it all the time. But there was a woman that Trump referred to when he was at the rally, and we haven't heard a whole lot about this or the details. But he said after the suspect, who we now know, is identified as Ryan Ruth, that when he took off, there was a woman driving down the road and thought, boy, that guy looks really suspicious. And so she, pulled over, grabbed her phone, actually took photos of the vehicle and had the whole description of the vehicle, the photos of the vehicle, called 911, called authorities and said, this is really suspicious. And sure enough, thank God she did that because that's how they had the vehicle and the vehicle description and ultimately caught that, an armed and dangerous suspect. But so that was a pretty cool story that he told. But you're right. I mean, that's just it. There are a lot of women who, and this woman, we don't even know if she's a Trump supporter, by the way. That woman in particular was just somebody who's aware and observant. But we have to have your mom call in sometime, Jimmy. We love your mom.
Really?
Yeah, we have to have her
I could tell her to call in.
Yeah. Mom's got to call in.
By the way,
Jimmy's mom.
Yesterday, a shameless plug here, but a happy 41st wedding anniversary to my mom and stepfather. They met and married in the same place.
This is so cool.
They met at McGillen's Old Ale House in 1979. I guess her and my dad.
It's a Philadelphia love story.
Her and my dad had just split up. They met in 1979. In 1983, it was like, all right, do you? And then the band played, and then that was it.
The rest is history. It's a love story.
She even had an Elvis impersonator at her wedding, Greg.
Oh, my God.
Greg Stocker, my mom had an Elvis impersonator at her wedding.
Earlier, when I saw Trump reference Elvis last night, this morning, I ran into Phil Almquist. I go, Phil, can you find this clip of Trump talking about Elvis? And because, just to trigger Greg, just to, pull his leg. All right, we're having fun here. 855-839-1210. Thanks for being here today. Be right back.
Weather is sponsored by United Tire.
Warm and pleasant conditions are in the forecast as we head into the weekend. A mixture of sunshine and clouds today. It will be less humid with a high 84. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 66 for the city, cooler in the suburbs. And for Friday, partly sunny and pleasant with a high 81.
Right now, when you buy any 4 tires at United Tire, you'll receive a free oil change or a basic 4-wheel alignment. United Tire cares as much as you do about your car. Visit UnitedTire.com to find the locally owned United Tire location nearest you. Don't drive alone. Drive United.
The only thing worse than hiring no law firm after your injury is hiring the wrong law firm. And there are so many of them. When thousands of people call us every year asking to help them change law firms and hire us instead, I wonder why they ever called the other firm in the first place. They were smart to switch before it was too late. You only get one day in court. You know who has the resources and results to fight to handle your claim. And the big insurance company on the other side, they know it too. They know us well. You have to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to walk away. Walk our way. When you're fighting to get what you deserve, it's go big or go home. We are big for a reason, which is why we've recovered over $9 billion for our clients. When it comes to law, size matters. We're America's largest injury law firm, Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Imagine taking a shower that never runs out of hot water. Well, here's some good news. Bradford White's Infinity Series GS and GR tankless water heaters deliver endless hot water whenever you need it. They're highly efficient too, saving you energy and money. Like all Bradford whitewater heaters, they're built to be the best for years of reliable performance. How you heat your water matters. Learn more about our Infinity Series tankless water heaters at bradfordwhite.com.
Hey, daydreamer. Did we catch you thinking about your dreams? With Wells Fargo Premier, a team can help you plan for them. So let's imagine your biggest dream. Not the easy one, the one behind it. The one you work towards every day and every night. Can you see it? Then we can help you plan for it. Ready to start planning for your dreams? You can at wellsfargo.com/getpremier.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. I want to talk about my friend, dentist, and board-certified prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz, and the Bentz Dental Group. With the cooler weather, it's a great time to stop procrastinating. Take care of your dental health. Plus, now's the best time to see a prosthodontist, especially to help with complications as we get older and help prevent major problems. Get the smile you really want. Take control of your oral health. Call the Bentz Dental Group, 610-272-6949. Visit bentzdentalgroup.com.
Land Rover is more than a luxury vehicle. It's a lifestyle. Range Rover, Defender, and Discovery, 3 exclusive brands, each with distinct characteristics that reflect unique driving needs. To ensure the finest ownership experience, every new Range Rover, Defender, and Discovery vehicle is covered by a 4-year or 50,000-mile limited warranty, 24-hour roadside assistance, and more. Visit one of 4 convenient locations: Land Rover Willow Grove, Westchester, Wilmington, and Harrisburg, part of Piazza Premium Automobiles.
Do you have shoeboxes full of photos? Today only, radio listeners get VIP access to the new Photo Legacy Box. Get your family's photos professionally scanned for as low as 7 cents, which is 76% less than what other brands charge. As the world's largest digitizer, you know you can trust Legacy Box to digitize your entire collection of 4x6 photos. Everything from the embarrassing haircut you had in the 90s to photos of your great-grandma's wedding. Visit legacybox.com/value to get 200 photos scanned starting at just $19.95. Oh, and don't forget, LegacyBox also digitizes over 15 other types of analog media, so you can get your favorite memories on VHS or Grandpa's film reels from the 40s digitized too. Take advantage of this exclusive offer on the new Photo Legacy Box today and preserve your past for as low as 7 cents. Go to legacybox.com/value. That's legacybox.com/value.
Hey, Ambler. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Follow us anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
So much happening in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and beyond. You know, one thing that, well, let's get to Pat really quick. Some of your calls, 855-839-1210. But let's get to Pat in Washington Township. Hey, Pat.
Oh, hi, Dawn. I just had to call after listening to Hope and just share quickly just my story of just yesterday. And I have a Trump magnet on my car and an American flag on the window of my car. And a woman, I was parked in the parking lot, and she knocked on the window to tell me she liked the magnet. So anyway, I get out, and of course, we're talking for quite some time. And I told her, I said, you know, I'll give you a magnet because I've bought quite a few, if you promise to display it on your car, not your refrigerator, but your car. And she said, absolutely. But I give it to her, and she's kissing the magnet, kissing the picture of Donald Trump. Later in the same day, I'm meeting friends at a pizza place, and I walk in, and they had Trump T-shirts on display. And they were selling them, and the fella saw my car. He saw the American flag because I was parked right in front. So, of course, we're talking, and I'm telling him about the magnet, same thing. If you promise you'll display it, I'll give you one. So I gave him one. And then when we went to leave, he gave me a T-shirt. This is just yesterday. I could tell you stories. I have a Trump flag in my yard, in my development. It's about 100 townhouses in Glassboro. Nobody has anything. Not one. I look all the time. Not one flag, nothing. And, or signs. But yet people walk by. They give me the thumbs up. Amazon delivers come with, packages. They talk to me. I get, take out food and delivered, and they talk to me. There's more people out there that are really for this Trump movement and will vote for him. And for some reason, I don't know why, they're just still afraid.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not in people's faces. I'm not. But when somebody stops to talk to me, one way or another, and once in a while it is the other, and I can tell you a few of them, but they mostly go pretty good because I don't argue and I don't call you names.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you. But listening to her, people have to know that there is hope. I mean, if he doesn't win, I'll be devastated, but I'll be totally shocked too.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much for calling. And we do have we have Pastor Bill Devlin, who is at the cathedral right now as we think about our hero and honor the service of our fallen officer that we've been talking about, Officer Jamie Roman. Thank you so much, Pastor, for calling in.
Yeah, well, I'm here live at Cathedral Basilica, St. Peter and Paul here at Logan Circle in Philadelphia. It's just, Dawn, it's just overwhelming. There's too many of these that have happened, and I've made a commitment a number of years ago that every slain officer's funeral, I would be here. And I wish that for other pastors and priests and clergy throughout the city. Governor Shapiro just gave a very stirring and heartfelt address, and now Mayor Sherelle Parker is addressing the packed cathedral here. My good friend Monsignor Dennis Gill is conducting the Mass today, and it's packed out, and it should be, Dawn, and we're just so grateful for Jamie Roman's sacrifice to the city, a 6-year veteran. And, what breaks your heart is his wife, Jasmine, and their little kids. I mean, he's got a 4-year-old named Jamie. And, and I heard you earlier about what happened that day and the shooting, and this guy should have been in jail. He had already tried to shoot an officer. So it just breaks our hearts. So as one pastor, I'm just in, by the way, from Nigeria and Cuba, helping people there. But I've made that commitment to be here at every funeral, and I want to call that out to other clergy throughout the city of Philadelphia. Be here to support the family, just like we were for, sadly, over a year ago with Officer Christopher Fitzgerald and just his sacrifice to the city. So we need to back the blue. And, Dawn, I know that you have faithfully reported on all these crazy politicians, crazy people that want to that desire to defund the police, but what is that about? So I just encourage your listeners to pray for Jasmine Roman, the widow, and this young family, and just pray for them in Jesus' name. And it's a sad day here in Philadelphia.
It is a somber day. Thank you, Pastor Bill Devlin. We'll have you on again and to talk about all your work and with those individuals, the children in Cuba and so on. Thank you, Pastor Bill Devlin, as we think about the family of, the family of Officer Roman, but the police family as well. And with Mayor Sherelle Parker speaking right now, you think about the fact that I believe that one of the reasons that she won as mayor, even over her Republican opponent, was because she stood apart as somebody who rejected this whole idea of defund the police. And she was somebody who supported even, frisking people if necessary by law. Remember that stop and frisk. But also she was clearly saying she wanted to hire more law enforcement, and that's something that's supported. So I think given the past, disastrous, administration, I think she's somebody who's trying at least to be supportive of law enforcement, of our police officers, and refund the police. We still have more than 1,000 openings, by the way, with our police. And, when you talk, I'm going to be honest, when you talk to law enforcement right now, it's not a good situation, and we need to fix it.
When you talk to anybody who's a police officer, and we've had this talk a lot, you always hear them say, well, about 2 more years.
Yep.
I'm just done. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yep.
And hopefully now that we have a new regime, and she's very supportive of the police, we have a commissioner who's confident maybe those conversations will start changing.
I'm not hearing it yet.
I know.
It's
going to be a long time before you hear anybody say that. But for right now, you're just going to hear that. Well, got about 2 more years, so I get my 30 in, and then I'm gone. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah, and a piece of this, I think, piece of this as well with any job, right? That one of the things about even surrounding police units is that there is in Philadelphia, the situation where it's more of an assembly line, if you will. So let's say you're an officer who's the first on a crime scene. In other places, they have an idea of a community law enforcement situation where you get to follow a case through. So if you're the first officer on that scene, then you will continue on with trying to solve that particular crime, right? That's in the big city in Philadelphia, the way that it is right now, to my understanding, it's still where, no, we're going to let this unit take over. And you pass the baton. Obviously, it depends if you have a detective unit, homicide unit, that sort of thing. But I feel that in law enforcement, because of it's really deflate and defund, right? It was, well, we're going to disrespect police. And unfortunately, law enforcement officers that I talk to, and not just Philadelphia, but at many different levels, in certain communities, police will show up, and there are even children who will say, oh, and they're nasty to them. Whereas in other communities, they're appreciated. I will tell you, I'll give you an example. Friday night football, we were at Northeast High School. All this law enforcement, I made a point to walk over to those officers, Philadelphia police, as well as the officers who were working as security. And, we had metal detectors and the whole situation. And many of us parents went up and said, thank you for your service. We really appreciate you coming here. I will just say one thing we can all do: when you see an officer, thank them. Make a point. Say, officer, thank you so much. And they'll say, oh, I'm just doing my job. No, it's important. And we appreciate you staying in this job. And we know it's not a difficult job and it's a thankless job. And we just want to say, I appreciate you. And make sure I tell my kids too, when you see an officer, go over, say hello, thank them. It does matter, and it does make a difference as we try to, just like Jimmy said, make that change. And sometimes it's through these little amounts that we can do. There's something we can all do, just saying thank you for your service. I really appreciate you. 855-839-1210. Be right back.
High school football is back. High school football is back. And so is the Friday Night High School Football Scoreboard Show. Join Daryl Dobis, James Bailey, and Matt Dents. Friday nights 10 till midnight for a rundown of all the big high school games in the region and expert analysis. The Friday Night High School Football Scoreboard Show. Friday night at 10. Only on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. Shed that summer vacation weight by reaching out to NJ Diet. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days and without any shots. NJ Diet is all natural. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get your body into the fat-burning zone so you can finally lose that weight. Then, NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. Best of all, it's contractually guaranteed. You're fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations in Newark, Delaware, King of Prussia, and Cherry Hill, or available worldwide with live online video consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consultation today by going to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
California Psychics is the real deal. They helped me out, totally changed my attitude, totally got me psyched to start my business and to take a new path in my life.
At California Psychics, we only connect our customers with the best. We reject 98% of the psychics who apply to us, so we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are having 2 fabulous back-to-school specials. The 2024 S60 front-wheel drive sedan and the exciting electric C40 each can be leased for 36 months for $369. Due at inception would be a down payment and taxes and registration fees, but in New Jersey, the C40 has no tax. The $369 is an incredible payment on each of these Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Our team would be honored to partner with you.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Isn't it time to invest in yourself? Well, how about this? Start a PI Dental Center with decades of experience in complex dental treatment, and I've been a patient of PI Dental for 20 years. Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, they're board-certified prosthodontists. They specialize in the restoration and replacement of teeth, and PI Dental Center are the originators of the teeth in a day. It's a revolutionary treatment that delivers fixed teeth and implants placed for a dramatic transformation in a mere one day. So visit PIDentalCenter.com. That's PIDentalCenter.com to request your new patient evaluation.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Join us to conquer childhood cancer on Sunday, September 29th for Children's Hospital of Philadelphia's Parkway Run and Walk, presented by Citadel Credit Union. All funds raised support CHOP's Cancer Center. Learn more and register today at parkway.chop.edu.
What's on the menu for football season? Pork, of course. Get ready for game day with Hatfield and put some pork on your fork. Elevate your kickoff cuisine and halftime feast with Hatfield's winning lineup of marinated pork tenderloins, pork loin fillets, ground pork and sausage, bacon and ham. Whether you're the tailgate king or gridiron gourmet, Hatfield helps you savor the taste of victory. Visit simplyhatfield.com for play-by-play menu inspiration. Find your flavor with Hatfield.
Station WPHT AM, an equal opportunity employer, is dedicated to providing broad outreach regarding job vacancies at this station. We seek the help of local community organizations in referring qualified applicants to our station. Community organizations that wish to receive our vacancy information should contact Lisa Morton at WPHT AM by calling 215-234-2400. In addition, all listeners are encouraged to visit odysseyinc.com/careers for an online listing of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
Hey, Southampton. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You know, this time of year, it is such a beautiful time of year, right? We think of fall and football this weekend, the first fall weekend. Have you seen any of these huge spiders that I know that people, and I haven't physically seen one, but I'm not a big spider freak. As far as I'm not terrified by spiders like some people are. That's not really my thing. But these huge, are they Joro? I think they're Joro. They're big spiders like the size of your hand, and they're bright yellow. And apparently people here have spotted them. I haven't seen one yet, but these big spiders, and they're blown by the wind, obviously, because that's even baby spiders. That's how when they're dispersed or whatever you want to say, they're not native to the United States. And all the environmentalist experts are saying that little is known about these Joro spiders as to whether or not they might damage or how they would impact our local ecosystems. So that matters as well. But we have warnings right now that some of these individuals out there are saying that these spiders should be killed on sight. This is the first I'm hearing of it. So they've been spotted on the East Coast and in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania State University spider experts are saying the best course of action is to kill them if you see them. Whoa, wait a minute. If you know enough to say kill on sight, that kind of freaks me out a little bit, I will say. They said it's important to take pictures of the spider to report it to labs, and they're trying to track these things. And they're saying that it is important for these spiders to be killed so that they don't pose much of a risk to the public. Have you heard? I've not heard this yet. They're showing video of these things and say they're the size of your hand, and they have a big yellow body with like a freaky looking head and big legs, like long, like striped legs. I kind of feel bad for the orb weaver kind of a spider that are very beautiful, like the Charlotte's Web spider, because they're like, yo, not for nothing, that's not me. I don't want to be misidentified. My pronouns are, like I'm not dangerous. But we're told as far as these Joro spiders, they are native to China. Now, I wonder if China, remember the Mama's the Only investigative unit where they were in the balloons? Did they drop the baby spiders? I have no idea. But this is concerning that they're saying kill on sight. Dom Giordano, I don't know if you or Ro have a fear of spiders, but does this concern you that some experts are saying kill these things on sight?
I think it's refreshing. I'm shocked that they would say that. But that's what we have producers for. I would just call Dan and Henry over and say, come on, clear out those spiders over
That's
there.
not my job description.
Oh, wait a minute. That should be in the Greg Stocker test of producers, in addition to the testosterone test that we know about. Yes. So, Dawn, we have Riley Gaines, but we also have Bob Brady on two things. He and Mulligan's, maybe it was the beverages, I'm not sure, is opposed to putting the Sixers in Chinatown. And I know he's a Biden guy. What does he make of the Teamsters? I think it's a huge